Tracy and I'm a collections clerk here at Barnsley Museums, and one of the jobs that I do in my role is accession new items into the collection. So what I thought I'd do this morning is show you a little sneak peek behind the scenes to show you what I'm working on down here in the museum stores. So the first items that I wanted to show you are these two beautiful dresses that were recently donated to us from the Lang family. Now these were made by a lady called Ethel Lang. You may have heard of Ethel Lang. She was 114 when she passed away, so at one point she was known as the oldest person in the UK and also the last living Victorian. So she lived in Barnsley in Musborough all her life, and when she left school at 13 she worked in a shirt factory, so she continued to make clothes all her life, and these items were made in the 1970s for her daughters. So these are two lovely items that show us what people used to make at home, but also tell us a little bit more about Ethel and her amazing story. So my job today is to give these items numbers, and I will measure them, look at the condition and describe them in more detail, and also do a little bit of research on Ethel so that I'll create a folder of information that our curators can use when they decide to put these out on display. And we'll also get these photographed so that we can share them online, so people that can't physically see them out on display will get to see them online. So I'm looking forward to working on these today. Another item that's recently been donated to the museum is this lovely painting of a rainbow, and this was painted by a young boy called Stanley, and he was 6 when he painted this last year during the pandemic. And one of the things that people were encouraged to do during the pandemic was create paintings like this and create rainbows to share hope and make people smile during a difficult time. So we wanted to keep this for the collection to tell that story of how Barnsley people wanted to be positive during such a tough time. So this is a lovely painting that we'll be adding to the collection. And then another item that I'll be working on today, as well as adding new items to the collection, we also research items that are already in the collection. And one of the things I've been looking at is these old Edison records. Now these were invented by Thomas Edison, and before we had round flat vinyls we used to have these canister records, and you'd put these onto a record player and they'd spin and play one song. Now these ones could only play one song, so that's why the flat round one developed. But what's interesting about these ones, if I can show you this one, this is a record by George Formby, but what we can see on the canister is a stamp that says Day & Co. So this was from a record shop on Shambles Street. So as well as researching the item itself, what we'll do is look at the Barnsley connection, and that tells us a little bit more about this shop on Shambles Street and also the kind of things that people were buying in Barnsley. So that's just a little sneak peek of some of the items that I'm going to be working on today.